Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of biology. And of course, today we're continuing our study of the respiratory system. All right, so if you have not been following us from the beginning, please ensure you have watched the previous episodes before we continue. And today we're looking at breathing mechanism in man, All right, I'm sure we're going to have a very interesting class. All right, so do not forget that these episodes are brought to you by the O3 Schools JAMB CBT practice application. Say you have made your decision to pass your JAMB exam at once. Okay, never to write JAMB again. Please go and get that app immediately from Play Store, download it, activate it, and start using it immediately for your sure success. All right, now we're going to see a JAMB pass question from the application. Okay, we'll talk about the app in a moment. Let us see a question from the app. This is a 2022 question, number 36. Okay, it says, which of the following is not a mechanism of inhalation or inspiration in man? Okay, which of the following is not a mechanism of inhalation or inspiration in man? A says the intercostal muscles contract. B says the intercostal muscles relax. C says the ribs are moved upward and outward. And D says the diaphragm becomes flattened. All right, so we're going to come back to this question and many more questions as it relates to the breathing mechanism in man from this application. All right, because at O3 Schools, we pride ourselves in giving you value first. Make we first teach you. Okay, after we have taught you and you have known, answering questions will be the list of your problems. So please download the application. It has all the past questions that you need for all the subjects. Okay, under the practice for UTME, if you go to practice for UTME. Okay, you write UTME, you do not write JAMB. Okay, but if you think it's JAMB, you're writing UTME. UTME is Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. JAMB is Joint Admission. JAMB will give you admission after writing UTME exam. So, but it is JAMB that conducts the exam for you. Okay, but it is popularly called JAMB. So let us say practice for JAMB or practice for UTME on the app. There you see all the past questions for the application. All right, and then also there's a classroom with lecture notes, as you can see being shown on your screen right now. There's a classroom, it has lecture notes, and those lecture notes are structured according to the JAMB syllabus. Apart from those lecture notes, there's a JAMB syllabus on the classroom also, and also you can create a study plan and crash all of your syllabus, okay, for all your 4 subjects, okay, and create a study plan to finish it within the shortest possible time, okay. Also, there's also a question search feature, just like where we search for this question, went to biology, and then of course, went to question search, biology, search for breathing, okay, and all the questions that have to do with breathing came out for us to answer. Very lovely feature. And then also there's a mock challenge on the app. Participate in our mock every Saturday by 10 a.m. Come and compete with all other students writing JAMB for this year to win a lot of prizes and to get used to a lot of JAMB pass questions, likely exam questions. Familiarize yourself with how an examiner will want to confuse you. The app is fully loaded for your success. All of these many features you are seeing on the screen, okay? Plus, many ones have not spoken about, okay, all goes for an activation fee that is less than the price of rice and chicken in a good restaurant. Please get the app activated. Do not be stingy. This is your future, okay? Going to school is very important. Do not prioritize it and see yourself doing well. All right, so please get the app and start immediately. Let us go to breathing mechanism in man. Breathing mechanism in man, okay? So basically, we have already made a point, okay, that we breathe in air, we breathe in air, that is what? Rich in oxygen, and then we breathe out air, that is what? Rich in what? In carbon dioxide, okay? So we breathe in air that is rich in oxygen. This is how somebody always say we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide, okay? It's a layman way of saying it, okay? As a biology student, to show that you know what you are saying, okay, outside, we will say that we breathe in air that is rich in oxygen, and then we breathe out air that is what? Rich in carbon dioxide, okay? And you know that sometimes when you breathe in air, okay, dust particles will follow also, okay? Smoke particles may follow when you breathe in water air, all right? And that is why sometimes we need to expel that dust. We need to expel it, we need to remove it, okay? That is why what we sneeze sometimes. You sneeze so that what that particles that followed the air that we breathe in, okay, will be what expelled out of our body. So that is why we sneeze. Okay, so we sneeze because those particles, okay, or small particles or pollutants, okay, that we're taking into our nose will be what expelled out through that sneezing process. Okay, so that's just what is more intro. So, but let us go to breathing mechanism in man. All right. So now the chest cavity, okay, or the one called the thoracic cavity, it contains what we call the rib cage. Okay, it contains the rib cage. All right. So the chest cavity contains the rib cage. Okay, and in between this rib cage, all right, there are layers of muscles. Okay, there are two layers of muscles. Actually, there are actually three. Okay, there are two layers of muscles, most importantly, but there's a third one, okay, which I'm going to add to it. All right. Okay, there are three layers of muscles. Let me just say three layers of muscles. Okay, that are found in between this rib cage. Okay, so one of that first layer, these layers of muscles basically they are called the intercostal muscles. They're called intercostal muscles. All right. So now this layer of muscles that are called the intercostal muscles. Okay, we have three of them. Number one, we have what we call the internal intercostal muscles. Number one, we have the internal intercostal muscles. Then number two, we have the external intercostal muscle. Then the third one, all right, is called the innermost intercostal muscles. Okay, so there are three layers of muscles, and these intercostal muscles, okay, they are very, very vital. They play a very important role during breathing by helping to contract and expand the chest cavity. Okay, the function of these intercostal muscles is to contract, very importantly, and expand the chest cavity, this chest cavity. Okay, that is the major function of this intercostal muscle. So they play a very important role during breathing. Okay, we're going to look at each of them one after the other. So let us look at the external intercostal muscle. What does the external intercostal muscle do? Okay, what thing they do there? Okay, let us see what they use. The importance, first of all, it is called the outermost layer of okay, it is found it is called the outermost layer of the intercostal muscles, and it is found, okay, it is found at the outermost part, okay, of the rib cage. All right, so it is called it is found at it is the outermost, first of all, outermost layer of intercostal muscles. Okay, it is the outermost layer, that is the external. We're talking about the external intercostal. All right, it is the outermost layer of the intercostal muscles. Okay, please take note of that. The external. Why the internal intercostal muscles? They are the middle layer. Okay, they are the middle layer. Okay, this one is the outermost layer. The external is the outermost layer. Okay, the internal is middle layer. Why the innermost? Okay, that is the innermost layer. Okay, no only way to explain that. Okay, so now the external intercostal muscle is the outermost layer of the intercostal muscles, and it is primarily the primary function of this external intercostal muscles is useful during inhalation. Okay, it is useful during inhalation or inspiration. Inhalation is also called inspiration. I'm going to look at these two breathing processes, inhalation and expiration, very soon. Explain them very well so that you can be able to fully understand. Okay, the inhalation and expiration. They are very, very important. Okay, so now the external intercostal muscles, they are the outermost layer of the intercostal muscles, and they are primarily involved in inhalation and inspiration. What they do is they extend their major function into one elevate is to elevate the what? The ribs. Okay? This is the primary function. Elevate the rib by what? By expanding the chest cavity. Okay? The major function of what? Of what? This external intercostal muscles is to elevate the ribs by what? By expanding. By what? Expanding. Let me just say by expanding the chest cavity. All right, so that is what the major function of this external intercostal muscles. Okay, the outermost layer of the intercostal muscles, they are primarily involved in inhalation or inspiration. Okay, and the primary function is to elevate the ribs. Okay, by expanding the chest cavity and then allowing air and allowing, which is the important thing, because that is the major reason why we breathe in, okay, but allowing air to enter into the lungs. Please take note of that, okay? The major function is to elevate the ribs, okay? To elevate it, increase it in size, okay? By expanding the chest cavity and allowing air to enter the lungs. That is the major function of the external intercostal muscles, okay? So they are very, very useful in breathing. Now, let us look at the internal intercostal muscles, okay? I'll talk about the external. All right, so please, it's very, very important. This is very, very important, okay? Some of you, what you are doing is very, very wrong. Okay, you watch something like this, you will not like it. You will not follow the page. You are not following our page on Facebook. You are not following us on YouTube. You are not following us anywhere. You don't share. You don't comment. You don't like. All you are always doing is, Pre-Master T, drop the next episode. You are not following us. You are not sharing it to your friends. Okay, it's very, very wrong. Okay, so please, the only way you can assist us to serve you better is by giving us visibility. Okay, so click on the like button. Please drop comments. Okay, follow. Even as I'm watching now, just click on that follow. Follow on the page. Follow. Don't see that follow on the O3 Schools page. Click on it. Finish. Put them. It's finished. So you don't have to do anything too much. So please assist us, please. Like, share, comment, all right? Like, share, comment, and the Lord will bless you, okay? And the Lord will keep you, and the Lord will cause his face to shine upon you in your exam, and you shall succeed. Okay, so let us go. Internal intercostal muscles. Okay, so like I was saying, the internal intercostal muscles, they form the middle layer of the intercostal muscles. Okay, they form the middle layer of the intercostal muscles. Okay, they are primarily involved. Okay, primarily involved during what? During expiration or what? Exhalation. Okay, all right. So exhalation when we are breathing out. Okay, inhalation when we are breathing in. Okay, so inhalation or inspiration, exhalation or expiration. All right, so please take note of that. Exhalation is also called expiration, while inhalation is also called inspiration. Okay, so they are primarily involved. This internal intercostal muscles. They are mostly useful or involved during expiration or during exhalation. Okay, apart from this, it's very important to know that for internal intercostal muscles, okay, they are very, very, very useful during forced breathing. Forced breathing, forced exhalation, or inspiration. They are useful during forced exhalation. Like, for example, when you are running, okay, when you are coughing, you are coughing. You cough very, 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 very hard. Okay, during forced exhalation, that is when this internal intercostal muscles will take action. Okay, so they are useful during forced breathing, like when you are running, like when you are coughing. Okay, so those are the examples. Now, what do this internal intercostal muscle do? What they do primarily, but one is to depress the ribs. Okay, they depress the ribs. Okay, then they reducing the chest cavity. Okay, they reduce the chest cavity size. All right, number one, they depress the ribs. Okay, then reduce the chest cavity size, and then allow air to be expelled out. okay, and then allow air to be expelled out of what? Of the lungs, okay, that is what removing air from the lungs. Like for example, we saw for the external, what they do is to help taking air to the what? To the lungs, but the internal what? Intercostal muscles, okay, they depress the ribs. Okay, they depress the ribs, okay, all right, then reducing what? The chest cavity size that was already what? Big before, okay, so they reduce the size and then allow air to what? To get out, okay, to be removed from the lungs, okay, and allow air out of the lungs and allow air out of the lungs, okay. Now, something I didn't tell you for external intercostal muscles is that the external intercostal muscles, they are very, very, very useful during like quiet breathing. External, okay, they are active during what? Quiet and deep breathing. Okay, please take note of what of that. The external intercostal muscles, they are active during quiet and deep breathing, but the internal intercostal muscles, they are active during what? Forced what? Breathing, okay, or what? Forced what? Exhalation. All right, so take note of what of the difference between what? The internal intercostal muscles and the external intercostal what? Muscles. Then we now have what? The innermost intercostal muscles. This innermost intercostal muscles, what they do is to help stabilize what? The ribs, okay, they help to stabilize what? The ribs, and also assist. They also assist what? The internal intercostal muscles during forced breathing, okay, so take note of what of that. All right, so we have spoken about what? The intercostal muscles, the external, the internal, and what? And the innermost, okay. So the innermost intercostal muscles assist the internal intercostal muscles during forced breathing, okay. And like we have said, external intercostal muscles, they help during what? During quiet breathing, not forced, okay. When you are running now, you should know that what is the internal intercostal muscles that will take action, okay. When you are coughing, you know that it's internal intercostal muscles, okay. But when you are just doing your normal sleep, okay, all right, quiet breathing, all right, just know that what? Those are the external intercostal muscles that will take place. So let us now continue our breathing mechanism, okay. So we breathe in what? Air that is rich in what? In oxygen, okay. So during inhalation or during what? Inspiration, okay, we take in what? Air, okay, that is rich in what? In oxygen, okay. But then this air has to what? Enter our body. It has to go into what? Our body, all right. And for us to be able to breathe what? Very well, okay, there are two parts of our body that are very, very, very important, okay. Two parts of our body that are very, very, very important, and those two parts are: one, the rib cage, and then two, the diaphragm, okay. So the rib cage and the diaphragm, they are very, very, very useful, okay. The rib cage and the diaphragm. Number one, we need what? The rib cage. Then number two, we need what? The diaphragm, okay. Diaphragm. Okay, so those are what? The two what are parts of our body that are very, very useful, are very, very, very important, that play a very, very vital role during what? Breathing. Oh, so now I'm going to what? Look at them with one after the other. Are we together? All right. All right, so let us look at the first one, which is what? The rib cage. Okay. All right, so the rib cage is like a cage where ribs are, just like we say a dog cage. A dog cage is a cage where you put dogs. Okay, fowl cage is a cage where you put fowls. Okay, so a rib cage, a cage where there's what? There are ribs. Okay, so the rib cage contains what? The ribs. Okay, it contains what to call the sternum, and also contains what to call the thoracic what? Vertebrae. Thoracic vertebrae. Okay, so what does this rib cage do? Okay, it's protects or vital organs, okay, in the body, okay, like what? Like the lungs and the heart, okay. It protects vital organs in the body like the lungs and the heart, okay. And of course also it plays a vital role in what? In respiration, okay, by helping to what? To contract, okay, with the help of what? Of the intercostal muscles, by able to what? To contract, okay, with the help of what? Of the intercostal muscles, okay. So the rib cage, they play a vital role in respiration by expanding and contracting with the help or aid of the intercostal muscles. Okay, so we're going to see how that what happens very soon, but just want to throw some light on the two vital parts of the body that are very useful during breathing. Okay, the rib cage contains the ribs, sternum, thoracic vertebrae. All right, they protect vital organs like the lungs and the heart, and they help in respiration by expanding and contracting with the help of the intercostal muscles. Now, that will take us to the diaphragm. The diaphragm, on the other hand, is a muscular dome-shaped structure. Okay, it's a muscle. Okay, so it's a muscular dome-shaped structure. Okay, that is what the diaphragm, a muscular dome-shaped structure. So the diaphragm looks like this. Okay. So something like this. Okay, you know how a dome is. I don't know if you see the Glory Dome in Abuja. Okay, the Dunamis Church. Okay, the Glory Dome. It's like this. Okay, very, very beautiful. You see it like this. Okay, so it's a muscular dome-shaped structure. Okay, please take note of all that. So it's actually a muscle. Okay, so that is the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscular dome-shaped structure, and the function and what it actually does basically is to separate the upper part from the lower part. Okay, on the upper part, okay, that is the thoracic cavity or the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. Okay, it helps to separate. It separates the chest cavity. It separates the chest cavity or the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity. Okay, so it separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity, the diaphragm. Okay, it's an exam question, so please do not joke with that. Okay, so the diaphragm separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. Okay, so in the chest cavity, this upper part, okay, where you have your heart, okay, you have your lung, okay, you have organs, okay, but the lower part where you have your small intestine, your large intestine, okay, the abdominal part. All right, so that's what the diaphragm does. Okay, and also plays a very, 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 very important role in breathing. Okay, and how does it do this? It plays a vital role in breathing by contracting and relaxing. Okay, by contracting and relaxing to change lung volume. Okay, by contracting and relaxing to change lung volume. That is your lungs. Okay, the volume of your lung. Okay, so that when you take in air, okay, the volume of your lung increases. Okay, but when you expel it out, okay, it reduces. So ordinarily, this is how the diaphragm is. Okay, if you are not taking in air, okay, it's just like this dome shape. It takes this dome shape, okay, initially. So the rib cage and the diaphragm movement is what is responsible for breathing to occur. Okay, please take note of that. So the rib cage and diaphragm movement, their movement is what is responsible, okay, all right, for breathing to occur. Okay, take note of that. It is very, 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 very important. Now, for us to be able to breathe in, okay, for us to be able to breathe in, okay, there must be space inside our chest cavity. Okay, there must be space, SPACE. There must be space inside our chest cavity. Okay, and it is this this rib cage and this diaphragm that will create that space. Okay, so that space is not there ordinarily before. Okay, but for us to be able to breathe, okay, this diaphragm and the rib cage have to create the space. Okay, especially the diaphragm. The diaphragm need to now, because it's actually in this dome shape. It actually has to come down. It has to become flattened. Okay, it has to now become flattened. Okay, so it can just now be like this instead of this dome shaped, okay, structure that it looks like. So it can just become flattened instead of this dome shape. Okay, so when it becomes flattened, space has already been be created. Okay, and then air can come into the chest cavity. Okay, and when air comes into the cavity, okay, volume gets created. Okay, and then what happens, because you are breathing in you see your chest. If you put your hand in your chest, for example, and you breathe in, what do you observe? If you breathe in, let us breathe in. Okay, let us demonstrate this. Okay, let us breathe in. your zada what your chest, okay? You can see that your chest, okay, it pushes what forward, okay, and then what goes what upward slightly, okay. Look at it. Look at the normal position. Okay, if you breathe in, you see that what it comes outward, it pushes like this direction, and then it also goes what up like this. Look at the normal position, okay. You see that it goes up, okay, and then what is also what comes what out. All right, so it goes slightly what upwards, and then what it comes what outwards, okay. So this is what happens what in the case of what, or the diaphragm, okay, because when what the diaphragm what is coming down, okay, that is when the chest, we are breathing in, when the chest is going what up, slightly up and what and outwards, the diaphragm becomes what flattened, okay. So that what air is able to what to enter, okay, and then what there's volume that's what being what created. So there's an increase in what in volume, okay. So but during what exhalation, when we are not breathing in, when we want to breathe out, it is the direct opposite that happens, okay. What happens in this case, you see that that the diaphragm, okay, which was initially what flattened, will return to its original position, this dome shape. The diaphragm will return to its original position, and once it returns to its original position, what do you see? Okay, your chest what see go extend out? No, your chest what goes what inwards. Okay, it goes what inwards. Okay, it goes back to its what original position. Okay, so that is how what breathing what takes place. Okay, so for breathing in, you see that your diaphragm, okay, becomes what flattened, so that what air can be able to what to enter. Space has to be in your chest cavity for what, for air to be able to enter. So the diaphragm and the rib cage depth what they create that was space. Okay, the diaphragm becomes flattened so that air can enter. Then what your chest, you see what goes slightly upwards when you breathe in, goes slightly upwards and what and outwards. Slightly upwards and what and outwards, okay. But during what exhalation, okay, which is what now expiration, direct opposite what happens, okay. Your chest goes back, okay. It becomes what it goes inward. It goes what inward. This one not outwards again. It goes what inwards, and then what now happens to your diaphragm? It returns to its what original position. So that is how we're able to what to breathe in and what and to breathe what out. That's the breathing mechanism in man. Okay, so it's also lovely to let you know that what I've already told you this before, that respiration itself is a what? It's a chemical process. Okay, it's a chemical process. While what breathing is a what? It's a physical process. Okay, breathing is what is a physical process, while respiration is a chemical process. So what I'm going to do quickly now is to do a difference between what inhalation and what exhalation. Okay, what I do different? What happens to the diaphragm and the rib cage during inhalation? What happens to the diaphragm and the rib cage during what exhalation? So I'm going to use a table to quickly do this so that I can proceed, okay, and end this class, answer questions, and leave the class. Okay, so now let us go. Okay, so now I want to draw a comparison, okay, between inhalation and exhalation. Okay, so let us go. We have inspiration, and then here we have expiration. Okay, so now what are the differences? First of all, for inspiration, you know that inspiration is also called inhalation. Okay, while the expiration is also called exhalation. Okay, and for inspiration, we are taking in air. Okay, so air is coming into the lungs. So number one, you say this is the act of drawing air into the lungs. Okay, while expiration, which is the opposite of inspiration, or which is also called exhalation, is expulsion. Okay, we're expelling air out of the lungs. Okay, so this is expulsion of air out of the lungs. Okay, so that is what expiration. Now Also, another difference between inspiration and expiration, okay, in terms of what of the, let us start to talk with the thoracic cavity first of all, of the thorax. Okay, what happens during inspiration? We want to breathe. Okay, what happens? The thoracic cavity, what, or the chest cavity moves what, outwards or frontwards and upwards. Okay, that when you breathe in, you see. Okay, it goes upwards and what, and outward, pushes outwards. Okay, but for the expiration, what it does, what goes what, inwards. Okay, so let us see for what, for the rib cage. The rib cage moves forward. So rib cage moves what now, outwards. Okay, or what, or forwards, and what, and upwards. Okay, so it moves what, outwards or forward, outwards or forward. Okay, and what, and upwards. Okay, but for what, for expiration, what happened? The rib cage here, rib cage moves downward and inward. Okay, so it moves what, back to its original position, which is what, downward. It goes back downward and what, inwards. Okay, for inspiration, when we are taking in air, it moves outwards, upwards. When we are expelling air, okay, it moves what, downwards, okay, and inwards. Okay, you see it. All right, so that's what it works. Now let us look at contraction. For the intercostal muscle, contraction of the intercostal muscles. Okay, so for inspiration, what happens is that the intercostal muscles, what, they contract. Intercostal muscles contract. Okay, while for expiration, intercostal muscles, what they do is what, is relax. Okay, for expiration, when we are what, breathing out. Okay, intercostal muscles, what, they relax. Okay, but when we are taking in what, air, intercostal muscles, what, they contract. They contract. Now also let us look at what, increase in volume, number 4. Increase in volume of thoracic cavity. For what? For inspiration. Okay, so there's increase in volume. All right, so the rib cage and the diaphragm have created a space so that air can come in. Okay, so there's increase in volume. Okay, when we're taking what, that air, there's increase in volume of what, of the thoracic or cavity. All right, while what, for expiration, okay, there's decrease in volume. Okay, there's what, decrease in volume of the thoracic cavity. Okay, please take note of what of that. Very, very, very important. Now, for the diaphragm, what happens during inspiration? The diaphragm what, becomes what, flattened. Okay, becomes flattened. All right. Why what? For expiration, what happens to the diaphragm? It returns back to its what, original dome-shaped what, structure. Okay. So now for inspiration, diaphragm contracts and becomes flattened. Diaphragm contracts and becomes flattened. Okay, while for what? For expiration, the diaphragm returns to its original dome-shaped structure. Diaphragm, okay, let me just say it returns. Please, you can write it where? Returns to its original dome-shaped structure. Okay, so that's what happened to what, to the diaphragm. Okay, and then also for inspiration, air pressure is usually what, lower than what, than the atmospheric what, pressure. Air pressure in the lungs is what, is lower than what, than the atmospheric pressure. While for what, expiration, air pressure in the lung is what, higher than the what, than the atmospheric what, pressure. Please take note of what of that. All right, so for inspiration, air pressure in the lung, okay, is lower. Okay, so you say air pressure, number 6. Air pressure in lung is lower than atmospheric pressure, ATM pressure. Okay, while what, air pressure in lung is higher than ATM pressure, atmospheric pressure. Okay, you know what that ATM means? The ATM means atmospheric. Okay, ATM means atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this is what difference between inspiration and what an expiration. Okay, so for inspiration or inhalation, the act of drawing in air into the lungs. This one is expulsion of air out of the lungs. This one, the rib cage moves outwards, that is upwards and up and sorry, forwards and what and upwards. Right, one moves what downwards and inward. This one, contraction of the intercostal muscles. This one leads to relaxation of the intercostal muscles. Okay, so during inspiration, there's increase in the volume of the thoracic cavity, while during expiration, there is decrease in the volume of thoracic cavity. Okay, so number 5, diaphragm contracts have become what flattened. Okay, during inspiration, while during what expiration, the diaphragm returns to its original dome-shaped structure. Number 6, the air pressure in lung is lower than the atmospheric what pressure, while what the air pressure in lung is higher than the atmospheric what pressure. All right. So there's also the issue of what of water vapor. Okay. Okay. Water vapor is also what's important because when you are taking air, the air you are taking in, okay, is less humid than the air, okay, that's already what present what in the lung. Okay. So when you are taking what out air. Okay, well, that's why when we are expelling what air, when doing what expulsion of what of air, that is what during exhalation, okay, because the air inside is already what more saturated with water vapor, okay. That's why sometimes during very, very cold period, you can see if you breathe out like this, you can see what your breath, okay, because it's more saturated inside, okay, when it's what coming outside than when it's what outside and when it's than when it's outside and coming inside. Okay, so please take note of what of that. All right, that's the issue of what water, what vapor also. So please take note of what of all of this. And let us quickly go to the O3 School JAMB app, answer questions, and we are out of here. Okay, so we have what some questions here. This is a 2022 question, the one we saw from the beginning. There are many questions also. I don't want to pick very, very few and what. In fact, I'm going to give you an assignment, give you them as assignments. So just drop the answer in the comment section. Please drop all of the answer in the comment section. 2022 number 36. They say, which of the following is not a mechanism of inhalation? Okay, that's specific about what inspiration or what inhalation. Okay, which of the following is not a mechanism of inhalation or inspiration in man? A says the intercostal muscles contract. B says the intercostal muscles relax. C says the rib and move upward and outward. D says diaphragm becomes flattened. Okay, so I will mark it. Just say the answer is A or B or C or D in the comment section. Then number 2, 2018 number 9. He said breathing movement is being shown on your screen. Breathing movement in man mass is accompanied by regular movement of the diaphragm and the A says the intercostal muscles, B says the vertebral column, C says clavicle, D says pleural cavity. We go choose vertebral column now. Okay, so one way we choose vertebral column. Okay, so please pick the right answer and what and put it what in the comment section. I will tell you whether you are right or wrong. Okay, so let us also see 2008 number 20. They say exhaled air differs from inhaled air in that it A say contains less amount of carbon dioxide. B says it's usually lower in temperature. C say often has more oxygen. D say usually has more water or vapor. Exhaled air differs from inhaled air. That's what I was explaining when it comes to the issue of water vapor. Okay, as you are taking in air, the air you are taking in is usually less humid than the one that is inside. Okay, so when you are bringing out air, okay, when you are expelling air out of the body, okay, the air inside is usually more saturated water vapor, okay, than the one outside. So most times, sometimes during very, very cold periods, like I said, you can easily see your breath. When you breathe out, you can see your breath. That's why you can see it, because is very, very saturated with water vapor. The air that you are expelling out is has more water vapor than the one that you are taking in. Okay, so please pick the right answer. Drop them in the comment section. Download the application. Okay, it has wonderful benefits and uses. Okay, start practicing immediately. Start studying. You will see yourself succeeding. Next class we'll look at cellular respiration in details. We'll talk about the 2 types of respiration, and aerobic and anaerobic in details, and then we'll look at the Krebs cycle, and we are done with this class. Thank you for watching.